Self-doubt are dream killers. And every time you doubt your ability, you doubt yourself, you don't take the chance, you don't apply for the job, you don't ask for the pay raise, you don't start your own business, you don't go out on that date, you don't whatever, you're killing your dreams. Because you're doubting your abilities, you're doubting who you are, not realizing that everybody has a light inside them, whether you want to call it the universal light, God's light, whatever light, that helps you keep moving forward, that puts you here for a unique purpose. Everybody has a unique calling. If you're not sure what it is, look at your past, look what you've overcome, and that's your unique calling. Mine is, I inspire women to see how great they are. I inspire women to want to make that leap, to wants to go to the next level. And I do this through coaching. If you're interested, check out my coaching program. It's on my website. I call it What's Next, because how many women get to that moment in their life and their career and they're like, okay, what's next? What can I do now for me? But then sometimes self-doubt creeps in. Another cause of self-doubt is the fear of failure. We're so afraid to fail that it paralyzes us. What happens if I fail and people see me? What happens if people judge harshly? Criticism, another thing of self-doubt. We worry about being criticized and harsh criticism. And women, a lot of us were criticized pretty much from birth, and we see women constantly being vilified for what they have on, their makeup, their hair, how they enter the room, how they're composed. And sometimes women, we're our own worst enemies. You know, I've seen women, I was in a meeting yesterday and somebody's like, well, did you see how she was dressed? It was like a clown show. And I got her and I knew the woman's heart, and she just meant in that position she should be dressed a little bit differently. But it came across again as women putting women down. I've been guilty of the same thing. I've been like, you know, did you see her? How'd she ever get that job? We got to stop that. Stop criticizing each other. Stop putting each other down. And stop having a need for perfection, to feel like, you know, I've got to do this to be perfect. And if I'm not perfect, then I better not do it. You're never going to be perfect. None of us can ever be perfect. I don't care if you're a concert pianist, you're still not going to be perfect. I don't care if you're the greatest speaker in the world, you're not going to be perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, because if you didn't, then we wouldn't be in the human experience. And the human experience is learning from your mistakes more than what you do well. I have learned more from my holy crap moments, what was I thinking, than I ever will when people are stood there and said, man, that was a great presentation, that was a great video. Oh, thank you for, I'm glad I coached with you, it changed my life. I learned more from my mistakes. So learn more from that. Being judged or criticized, we talked about that. Lack of control. So many of us, especially women that have trauma of any kind, they feel like they need to be in control of their environment. And when they're not in control, it knocks them off their game. I used to be a huge control freak. I still can be when I'm doing something new, but I've learned that you can't control everything, and that I just need to trust the universe. I need to trust that the right thing will happen, and if it's a bad outcome, that there's a lesson for me to learn the lesson and move forward. So you can't always be in control. And sometimes being out of control is fun, because you get to discover things about yourself you didn't know. We talked about failure, right? We went through all that. Need for perfection. This is all things that keep you from being who you're meant to be. It keeps you from stepping into your unique calling. It prevents you from answering that inner voice that says, you know, if you did this, it'd be awesome. You know, if you started that cookie business, think how amazing it would be. Or if you started that business coaching women, think how amazing it would be. It took me years to do it. And even once I launched it, it took me more years to convince myself that I was worthy of coaching other women, that I had something to share with other women, that I had life experiences. And it took me along a self-healing myself to figure this out, because I was filled with self-doubt. Everything I did, I was self-doubt. And people are like, well, you're a CEO. Are you kidding me? You've been a CEO for 20 years. It's been 25 years of self-doubt, questioning myself constantly until the past couple years during COVID, when I really got to work and did some serious inner work, when I had some bad outcomes that forced me to be like, I can't keep living like this. I can't keep going to bed at night thinking, when am I ever going to execute my dreams? When am I ever going to accomplish what I want to accomplish? I had to do the inner work on this. I had to realize this is what self-doubt looks like. But the other side of self-doubt is amazing, because then you get in front of a camera and when you make a mistake, it's okay. I used to stop it all the time, be like, oh my God, I got to refilm it. Now if I stutter over my words, because I talk about my speech impediment, it happens. When I say something that's like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that, I live with it, because I'm not going to allow self-doubt to steal my dream. I'm not going to allow, I do not want to sit when I'm 80 or 90 or 100 years old, 101 is what I want to live to, and think, if only I would have had the courage. Not the clarity, because I know what I want to accomplish. It's the courage. I have the confidence, I have the clarity. It's the courage. Because courage means putting yourself out there. And if you have self-doubt or fear or any of these, monsters locked inside of you, the inner negative voice that keeps telling you, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, then you're going to believe that. And I want you to hear this. I want you to know this. You are good enough. You are here for a singular purpose. And I had one person, I was coaching her, and she's like, I have really always wanted to be a travel agent. I love to travel. I would love to be a digital nomad. And it's like, well, why aren't you? And she's like, do you know how many digital nomads are out there? And I'm like, there's a lot. She goes, you know how many people do travel blogs? I'm like, a lot. She goes, well, why would I do one? So because your take is unique. You and I could go sit at Laguna Beach outside the hotel, sipping an adult beverage, and I'm going to see one thing and you're going to see a different thing. I'm going to feel one thing about the experience and you're going to feel a different thing, because you're you. And your unique perspective, if you tell me, it would be like, oh, wow, I didn't think of it like that, or I didn't know that about the waves, or, I didn't understand that, if I would have ordered my cocktail this way, it'd be a little bit more refreshing on the beach. Everybody has a different take. So don't say, well, I can't do that because that's been taken. Everything's been taken. Coaching, how many women coaches are there out there? And yet I do coaching because my take's different. My background's different. How I arrived to this is different. I resonate with some people and I don't resonate with others. It used to drive me crazy. That used to fill me with self-doubt, because I would be like, well, why don't I resonate with them? Why didn't they want me to coach them? Why did they pick her to coach them? Now I realize everybody vibrates. Everybody's energy is different. But if you come onto something with self-doubt, if you walk in the room filled with self-doubt, that gets projected. So learn to trust yourself. Learn to have that confidence, that clarity that you're badass, that you can do this. Understand that that's why my podcast is called She Leads Confidently. I want to make 1 million, 2 million, 10 million women understand. Take leadership of yourself and be confident, and the world will open up. I hope this helped you guys. It's a little bit longer podcast than normal, but I'm just so passionate about these topics. I'm so passionate about inspiring women to have the courage, the faith to step into their calling, to trust it, and to move forward with it with confidence. Because once you take that first little teeny tiny step, that first, I think I can do this, you shift. Then you take the next step and you shift, and the next and you shift. And sure, then you might take a couple steps backwards, but eventually you're going to get to that door. You're going to open that door and you're going to be like, this is it. I've made it. And then sure, a couple of years, a couple of months, who knows when, you're going to be like, well, I want to go to the next level. But you want to take your time, take the steps, and don't let self-doubt, please don't let self-doubt steal your dreams. If you have any questions at all, please direct message me. If you're watching this on YouTube or TikTok or any of those, direct message me. Go over to my website, check out my coaching course, and I have an online program, She Leads Confidently, The Art of Discovering You. If you're ready to decide what's next in your life, if you're ready to decide what you want in your life, because now you're a little bit older, you can make that decision. The kids are growing or gone. Everything's shifted now. Now you can do what you want to do. Have a great day, you guys. If you have any questions, please let me know. Here's to you stepping into your calling and no longer allowing fear to win, because she leads confidently.